How to Dominate Local Ranking by Gen1 Media.
That's the big one.
That is the headline for today. And honestly, if you are a lawyer or you run a law firm, or even if you're just, obsessed with the nuts and bolts of how businesses actually get found these days, you're going to want to lean in for this one.
It's a topic that keeps a lot of managing partners up at night. It feels mysterious, right? But when you actually peel back the layers, which is, what we do here at Gen1 Media, it is incredibly logical.
Exactly. And just to set the stage here, we are speaking as part of the Gen1 Media team today. We're looking at our own data. And we see this constantly, don't we?
All the time.
These law firms that are incredible at what they do. We are talking top-tier litigators, brilliant contract drafters, but online.
Invisible. It's the classic best-kept secret problem. And in 2024, being a secret is not a business strategy.
Right. And then you look at the map pack. Those three businesses Google shows you right at the top of the search results. And sometimes the firms sitting there, well, let's be honest, they might not be the absolute best lawyers in town, technically speaking, but they are winning the clicks. Why is that? That is the mission for this deep dive.
And it really comes down to one core concept: relevance.
Okay.
Or rather, signaling relevance.
Okay, let's unpack that. Because I think most lawyers think, if I win cases, I'm relevant.
In the real world, absolutely.
Yeah.
But Google doesn't know who wins in court.
Right.
Google doesn't sit in on your client meetings or read your closing arguments. Google is a machine. It relies entirely on signals.
Right.
And the thesis we are exploring today, and we're using our analysis of markets like the Paarl contract law seen as a case study, is that ranking is about systematically sending those signals.
So just to clarify for everyone listening, even though we're looking at specific data from Paarl, these principles are universal.
Completely. The algorithm works the same way whether you are in Cape Town, London, New York. It doesn't matter. If you are a firm trying to rank locally, the mechanics of the machine are identical.
Okay, so we have a roadmap. We are going to cover the Google Business Profile, which is obviously huge.
Right.
We are going to look at website architecture, how your pages are actually built. We're going to talk about specific language choices, and then the quiet power of third-party citations.
And we're going to explain why legal services is probably the worst phrase you can use if you want to be found.
I love that. It's such a trap. Okay, let's start with the foundation. If I am a law firm and I want to fix my ranking today, what is the biggest low-hanging fruit?
Without a doubt, it's the Google Business Profile, or GBP.
Okay.
This is your storefront in the digital world. It's often the very first thing a potential client sees, even before your website. And the mistake we see time and time again, it relates to categories.
Categories, like just telling Google what you are.
Exactly. Most firms just select legal services or maybe just attorney, and they leave it at that. They think, well, that covers it. I offer legal services.
It is technically true.
It's true, but it is not specific. And in the world of SEO, specificity is how you win. If you select legal services, you're telling Google to throw you in a bucket with everyone from traffic ticket lawyers to international maritime arbitrators. It's just too much noise.
So you need to narrow the lane.
Precisely. If you want to dominate, your primary category needs to be attorney or a law firm, sure, but you absolutely must utilize secondary categories. If you do contract law, you need to select commercial law attorney or contract law attorney.
You're telling the algorithm exactly what shelf to put you on in the library.
That's a great analogy. You're narrowing the field. But it's not just a set it and forget it situation. This is where active management comes in. You can't just build the profile and walk away.
The source material mentions posts. I feel like a lot of law firms treat their Google profile like a phone book listing. Just sits there, gathering digital dust.
That is a huge missed opportunity. You need regular posts. We're talking monthly, at the very least. And not just generic stuff like happy holidays from the team.
Right, the algorithm doesn't care about your holiday spirit.
No, it cares about relevance signals. So a post should say something like, drafting commercial contracts in city, what businesses should know. You see what we did there?
Yeah.
We hit the service drafting commercial contracts and the location.
So you're feeding the bot the keywords it needs to verify that you actually do what you say you do.
Exactly. And visuals play a massive role here, too. It's not just text.
I found this part fascinating. Why does a photo of the office matter for ranking?
It's about trust and verification.
Yeah.
Google wants to see that you are a real functioning business. There's so many fake listings and lead gen sites out there, photos of the office, the signage outside. That is actually really important for verification.
The actual sign?
The actual sign and the team. Branded graphics are great, but real photos of real people build trust with both the user and the bot. It proves you exist in the physical world.
Now, here's is where it gets really interesting for me. The reviews. Everyone knows you want 5 stars. That's obvious. But the Gen 1 approach goes deeper than just the star rating.
The star rating is the baseline. You need a high rating to even play the game. But the content of the review is the secret weapon.
How so?
Well, if you have 50 5-star reviews and they all just say, great service, highly recommend, that's nice for social proof, humans like it.
Sure.
But it tells Google very little about what you actually did. It doesn't give the algorithm any context.
So you literally need to coach your clients a little bit.
You have to be proactive.
Wow.
You actively request reviews that mention specific keywords. Hey, would you mind mentioning the commercial contract work we did for you? You want reviews that say contracts, business agreements, commercial law.
That is fascinating. So the client is essentially writing your SEO copy for you.
And it doesn't stop there. The firm's reply is just as critical.
The reply. I feel like most firms just copy-paste thanks.
Or they don't reply at all. Big mistake. You must respond to every review, and your reply should be keyword-rich.
So not just, thanks, Bob.
No. You say, thanks, Bob. We were happy to help your business with those commercial agreements. You are reinforcing the relevance to the algorithm one more time. It's a conversation, but you are also signaling to the machine, see, we do commercial agreements.
That is such an actionable tip. It costs nothing but a little bit of thought. Okay, let's move from the Google profile to the website itself, because this is another area where I think lawyers, well, they tend to suffer from being generalists.
They do, and that is the generalist problem.
Right. You go to a website, and there's one page, and it just lists everything. We do family law, criminal law, and, oh yeah, commercial law.
Or even if they focus on business, they have a single page that just says commercial law services. And that's it. Maybe 3 bullet points.
Why does that fail?
Because it is too broad. If I am a user in Paarl, sticking with our case study, and I need a contract drafted, I am probably searching for contract-drafting-paarl or business agreement lawyer. I have a specific pain point. If your site just has a generic commercial law page, Google has to guess if you do the specific thing the user wants.
And Google hates guessing.
Google hates guessing. It wants certainty. So the Gen 1 fix here is dedicated pages. You need to break it down. You want a URL structure that looks like contract-drafting-paarl or commercial contracts attorneys.
You are literally putting the search term in the URL.
Exactly. And on that page, you can't just have generic fluff. You need to explicitly list what is covered. Service agreements, employment contracts, NDAs, shareholder partnerships.
You are mapping the territory for the search engine. You're saying, we don't just do law, we do these specific things.
And for the user, it's a better experience. If I search for NDA lawyer and I land on a page about NDAs, I know I'm in the right place.
Yeah.
If I land on a general business law page, I have to hunt for it. I might just click back.
And that clickback is a bad signal to Google, isn't it?
It's a terrible signal. It tells Google this wasn't what the user wanted.
Now, the source material mentions a specific element on these pages that works like magic for capturing traffic, especially with the rise of AI summaries.
The FAQ section.
The FAQ secret.
This is huge right now. You include questions like, how much does contract drafting cost? Or, do I need a lawyer for a business agreement?
Why is that so effective?
Because that's exactly what people type into the search bar. We don't search in keywords anymore, we search in questions. And now, with AI search features like Google's AI overviews, the AI is looking for direct answers to direct questions. If your page provides the answer in a clear question-answer format, the AI latches onto that.
It sees you as the authority that provides the solution.
Exactly. It's almost like you are drafting the content for the AI to read back to the user.
This leads us perfectly into the language and messaging, because we talked about being specific, but there is a psychological aspect to this too. The bucket problem.
This is crucial to understand. Outsiders, meaning potential clients and the algorithms, mentally bucket firms. They categorize you. If your website says commercial law, litigation, property, family law, you are immediately bucketed as general practice.
Even if you are amazing at contracts.
Even if you are the best in the country, the signal is diluted, it is noisy. To dominate a niche, you must be explicit. You need to escape the general practice bucket.
So give me an example of the pivot. How do we change the language?
Instead of saying we offer commercial law, you say contract drafting attorneys. Instead of we help businesses, you say we draft legally enforceable commercial contracts for city businesses.
It feels bolder.
It is actionable. It is specific. And psychologically, if I'm a business owner and I'm worried about a supplier agreement, who am I going to click on? The general practice firm that does everything, or the firm that says custom drafted contracts for local businesses?
You go with a specialist every time. It just feels safer.
Exactly. The specialist language wins the click because it matches the user's specific intent. And because users click on it more, Google sees that engagement and ranks it higher. It is a feedback loop.
So we have the profile, we have the website pages, we have the language. Now let's talk about the stuff that happens off the website, the quiet influencers.
Third-party citations and directories.
I feel like this is the unsexy part of SEO. This is the grunt work.
It is completely unsexy. It is tedious. But it is the bedrock of authority. It powers those top firms' recommendations.
So we are talking about listing the firm on sites like Snoopit, Lausanne, SA Lawyer.
Yes, and your local chamber of commerce. Even getting links from accounting firms or business consultants you work with. These are citations. They confirm you exist and you are who you say you are.
But there's a Gen1 golden rule for these directories, right? You don't just paste your name and address.
No, and this is where most firms get lazy. They create the listing, fill out the description with legal services provided by, and leave it.
Back to the generic trap.
Right. The description in these directories matters more than the link itself. You must mention contract drafting. You must mention your specific service niche.
So when Google crawls Lausanne or Snoopit, it's not just seeing your name, it's seeing contract drafting associated with your name over and over again.
Exactly. It creates a consensus across the web. We call it the knowledge graph. If 5 major directories all say you are the contract drafting expert in Paarl, Google becomes very confident in showing you to a user searching for that. It heavily influences local search and how AI summarizes who the key players are in a region.
So consistency is key. You can't say you're a specialist on your website and then look like a generalist everywhere else.
Consistency builds trust. Inconsistency breeds doubt. And doubt kills rankings.
I want to circle back to the content strategy. We touched on FAQs, but there's a broader point here about blogging and articles. The source material has a great phrase, no legal waffle.
Yes, please, no legal waffle.
Lawyers love to sound like lawyers. It's hard to shake the training.
They do. They write for their peers. They use Latin. They reference obscure case law numbers. But your client is a business owner who is stressed out. They don't want a law lecture. They want answers.
So targeting business owners means answering the questions they actually have.
Correct. The content should answer the questions clients actually type into Google.
Give me some examples from the Paarl case study.
Things like, do I need a lawyer to draft a contract in South Africa? Or template contracts versus attorney-drafted contracts.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know if they can just download a template.
Exactly. Or common contract mistakes small businesses make. What makes a contract enforceable? These are high-intent questions. If you write a simple, clear article answering these, without the jargon, you position the firm as the helpful expert. You become the contract people, not just another scary law firm.
Yeah, and it essentially brings people into your funnel before they are even ready to pick up the phone.
Exactly. You're providing value up front.
And finally, let's talk about authority signals. How do we prove we are top tier once they land on the About page? Because it's one thing to get them there, it's another to convince them to hire you.
This is about closing the deal with trust. You need to be explicit about experience. Don't just say experienced team. Say 20 years of commercial law experience.
And the source mentions case examples. This is tricky for lawyers because of confidentiality, right?
It is, but you can anonymize it. And you should. Instead of saying, we help businesses, say, drafted supplier agreements for regional wine producers.
Is the Paarl connection?
Exactly. If you are in Paarl, mentioning regional wine producers signals local relevance and specific industry expertise. It tells the prospective client, we understand your specific context. We know the difference between a grape supplier contract and a distribution deal.
It grounds it in reality.
Yeah.
It's not abstract anymore.
And that changes how people rank you mentally. It moves you from potential option to proven expert.
So when we pull this all together, ranking locally, dominating that map pack, it isn't magic.
It is not magic at all. It is engineering.
It is systematic signaling. It's the Google business profile. It's the specific website structure. It's the language you use and those off-page citations.
And I think the most important takeaway for our listeners today, especially the lawyers, is this. The firms that appear at the top aren't necessarily the ones with the Harvard degrees or the biggest office buildings.
Yeah.
They're the ones signaling relevance the hardest.
They're the ones speaking the language of the machine.
Precisely. They have learned to translate their expertise into signals that Google understands.
So here's the question we want to leave you with today. And it's a bit provocative, but that's why we're here. In this era of AI summaries, where algorithms are deciding who gets seen and who stays invisible, if your website only speaks lawyer, you are essentially invisible.
That's the reality.
So are you drafting your content for your peers to impress them with your vocabulary? Or are you drafting it for the machine that brings you your clients?
That is the million-dollar question.
That's something to think about before you write your next blog post. That's it for this deep dive into local SEO with Gen1 Media. We will catch you on the next one.